Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to Dade Kia for giving me time with the 2022 Kia Forte GT. If you're in the market for a Kia, you can come check out Dade Kia and they will get you into a new or pre-owned vehicle. But let's talk about the changes here that Kia has made for the Forte. For 2022, the Forte has a new design language here, also with new wheels and also new tech for the interior. We'll talk about those things that Kia has updated for the Forte in a few moments here, but let's talk about the exterior styling here. As you guys can see here, my model is painted in this black exterior color. It looks really good with the red accents. Looking at these headlights here, my model does come with these unique LED headlights here. As you guys can see on top of the headlight module, there's these triangle design here. Looking at these headlights here, they're full LED with an automatic low and high beam with an LED turn signal, LED daytime run light. There's the GT badge in the grille. There's also has some red accents here in the grille, which is really nice to signify that this is the GT model. There's the newer Kia emblem on the hood. There's also some aluminum painted trim at the lower part of the headlight modules. This area here is functional to put an air curtain over the brakes and wheels. There's more of that red trim here at the lower part of the fascia. And it also has unique LED fog lights here at the lower part of the fascia. And the intake looks really aggressive, also with this front lip splitter there. But I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section and tell me what you guys think about the updated Kia Forte. But looking at the side profile here, this has a wheelbase of 106.3 inches with an overall length of 182.7. So this is right on par with something like a Honda Civic in this segment here. But looking at these tires and wheels, I love the multi-spoke design here. There's also the newer Kia emblem in the center cap, also with that red trim. These are a 225/40 tire. The wrapped in is 18-inch rim design. There's also larger brakes and larger rotors here on the Forte, since this is the performance model of the Kia Forte. But looking here at this LED sight marker here on the mirror cap, and my model is missing that standard size sunroof. You cannot get a panoramic sunroof here on the Forte. But making our way to the rear here of the Kia Forte, and Kia, they did update the taillights here as well. This is a full LED brake light here. There's the Forte name, which is spelled out. There's the newer Kia emblem, and there's a backup camera there, of course. There's also the GT badge right there. Looking here at the lower part of the fascia, and yes, Kia, they do split the turn signals in reverse light. They put them here at the lower part of the bumper. Unfortunately, it's going to be an incandescent bulb instead of an LED. And this also has a sport tuned exhaust. I'll let you guys hear what that sounds like really quick. It sounds pretty decent here in this segment. I think it could be a little bit better, but you know, Kia, they did add that sport tune exhaust. It also has a dual tip exhaust as well. Open up the cargo back here. Kia puts the trunk release button right here. Once you click that, it reveals 15.3 cubic feet of space. And underneath here, Kia does give you a temporary spare tire instead of a fix to flat kit. You can also fold the seats down to do a 60/40 split. You can't do that on the Honda Civic. You have to go for a top trim if you guys want to have the seats to fold down in a 60/40 manner. And this also has best-in-class cargo space now, because the Civic only has around 14.8 cubic feet of space. Sitting inside the interior of the Kia Forte GT, like I mentioned from the outside, seeing Kia did update the exterior styling. They changed the wheels, and it also gave this vehicle nicer tech, which is this 10.3-inch display. It does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Kia said that it was wireless for some reason. I tried to connect my iPhone 12 Pro Max and did not connect it wirelessly, so I had to use the USB port instead. But the cabin still looks the same as the previous Forte that I reviewed. But reaching over here to shut the door of the Kia Forte, the door sounds pretty solid. But to start up the Forte, just put your foot on the brake and press the start stop button right here on the dash. Once you guys do that, you guys will hear that 1.6-liter turbocharged engine come to life, and also with that sport tuned exhaust. But looking here at the door panel materials, it's going to be a soft touch ejection molded plastic. There is this texture here on the actual door panel, which is a black texture, which is a gloss black texture. There's also these small little dots on the actual trim there. There is this aluminum painted door handle. The switch gear feels really nice. It is auto up, auto down, only for the driver, but not for the rest of the windows. There's your lock controls here, also with the mirror controls. There is some red stitching here. It's gonna be nice and padded here to rest your elbows. Down here is gonna be additional storage and cup holder space. There's the dimmer switch, also with the blind spot monitoring. Traction control is right there. There is this manual tilt and telescoping wheel. It does offer a decent amount of range and adjustability. There is paddle shifters here to cycle through that 7-speed dual clutch transmission. This also has perforated leather because this does have a heated steering wheel function. There is some nice red stitching here. The leather does feel really nice to touch. Over here's your voice controls, and your driver's assistant controls is here. This does have the newer Kia emblem in the horn. Sounds pretty good compared to that new Honda Civic that I just reviewed, which had that dinky sounding horn. There's also the GT badge here at the lower part of the steering wheel with this flat bottom wheel design. The gauges in here, still traditional gauges with the analog. There's this small helper screen that you can customize via this toggle here to show you different stuff like your attention level, also your driver's assistance. If you go for a Honda Civic or a Hyundai Elantra, you will get a full digital display if you go for a mid-grade or top trim in order to get that feature. But looking here at this large 10.3-inch display, I think this does have the biggest screen in the segment besides the Elantra, because Kia and Hyundai are sister branded vehicles. As you guys can see here, the touch response of this new infotainment system here is really good. Going here to the Waze, it does take up the entire screen. You can have that split function if you would like. Like I mentioned, it does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's a volume and tune knob. There's also some shortcut buttons here. There's a hazard switch. There's also the air vents here. This also has dual climate control. I'm surprised to see there's no actual heated seats here on this GT model. But there's a lot of blink buttons here, but you can access the camera via this button here. And there's your drive mode selector, which shows you sport, smart, and normal. So there's only 3 different drive modes here in the Kia Forte. Going here to the Kia head unit here, as you guys can see, just like on the Kia Stinger and the rest of the Kia's vehicles now, you also have these light purple icons here. The materials on the dash are going to be a nice soft touch ejection molded plastic. There is some stitching here on the dash as well. Looking at these seats, very comfortable and plush seats. They're aggressively bolstered compared to that Civic that I just tested recently. There's also the GT badge stitched in the actual seat rest here. There's some nice stitching with some nice red piping here. I love this seat design here. It looks really nice here. And above me, my model is missing that standard size sunroof. Kia does not offer a panoramic sunroof here on the Forte. No vehicle in this class offers a panoramic sunroof. I think Honda should offer that for the 11th generation Civic. Looking at the lighting in the cabin, it's going to be an incandescent bulb. And the glove compartment here does offer a large storage in there. There's also some aluminum painted trim here on the actual dash. But overall, I'm loving this updated Kia Forte. But let's hop into the back seat. Getting into the back seat here, the Kia Forte GT. Getting back here, as you guys can see here, I do have a lot of headroom here. I'm only 5'8", but looking down here, Kia says you get around 35.7 inches of legroom here. This is where I have the seat to drive. There's only one mat pocket back here for storage. And this does have rear air vents here, unlike the Civic, which doesn't have air vents. You have to go for a top trim if you want air vents. There's also a USB port down here. The floor back here is not flat, but you can fit a middle passenger here. The seats feel very plush and very comfortable. I love the red stitching in the actual seat backs here. It looks really nice. Pulling this armrest down here, it does reveal 2 cup holders, and you can fold the seats down to do a 60-40 split. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here for the Kia Forte GT. As you guys can see, I already have the hood open here because my model uses a pop rod instead of hood struts. But let's talk about the powertrain here. This uses Kia's 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. This powertrain makes 201 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. It is paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. As the Forte sits here, it weighs in around 3,079 pounds, so right on par with everything else in this segment. Fuel economy for this 4-cylinder is rated at 27 in the city, 35 on the highway, and 30 combined. So kicking up the driving scene here in the refreshed 2022 Kia Forte GT. This has Kia's 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This powertrain makes 201 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. It is paired with a 7-speed dual clutch. You can get a manual transmission if you would like. So if you guys want this 7-speed dual clutch, I would just recommend going for that 6-speed manual. And this is the only car in the segment that doesn't offer a CVT. Like I mentioned, this is a dual clutch. If you guys are looking for a baby Stinger, in a sense, yes, I'm comparing this to a Stinger. If you're looking for a baby Stinger and you don't want to pay for the price tag of the Stinger, the Forte will be a really good option here. But just driving the car so far, I drove the Forte previous before. I like the powertrain that it offered, which is that 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Really good powertrain. I also love the updated Forte here. You have really nice unique headlights here. You also have an integrated rear spoiler. I forgot to show you guys that. The visibility out of the Forte here is really good. The steering wheel feels really nice to hold. This is a new 10.3-inch display. It does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It says wireless, but for some reason on Kia's website it says wireless, but when I try to connect my iPhone 12 Pro Max, it doesn't connect. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe I read it the wrong way, but it does not support Apple CarPlay or Android Auto as wireless. You still have to use a USB port if you want to connect your phone. If you guys hear some rattling in the background throughout this review, that is the tag for the vehicle. The steering feel here is very playful. You can feel what the front tires are doing. The cabin looks really nice, especially with this 10.3-inch display here. It looks really better and crisp and clear. It is the largest infotainment system in this segment besides the Hyundai vehicle, because those are a sister branded company. So I wouldn't compare the other vehicle from Hyundai to this, because they still use the same infotainment system here. But out of the Honda Civic, this does have the best-in-class infotainment system here. Like I mentioned, Kia changed the exterior styling. They also changed the wheels, but I think on my model, I think the wheels still look the same. So just driving here, as you guys can hear, like I mentioned, this does have a sport tune exhaust here. It sounds pretty good, honestly. And my model also has paddle shifters here. This is third gear, second gear. It sounds pretty good. Let's talk about the driver's assistance here. It does have blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, also with the foreclosure warning and adaptive cruise control. So Kia does keeping your family safe on short or long commutes around town, or even if you guys are taking a family vacation. The back seats feel very comfortable. You get around 35.7 inches of legroom. It's not best in class. I think the Honda Civic has around 37 or 38 inches of legroom in the back seat, but the back seat in the real world does feel very spacious. The materials back there are pretty decent. Of course, in this class, the seats in here, they're aggressively bolstered compared to the Civic that I just recently tested. I love the GT stitched in the actual seat backs. There's this nice design here in the actual seats here, which looks really nice. So Kia did a really good job here with the updated version of the Forte. This also has a sport tune suspension, and that dual clutch is just perfect with this powertrain here. But let's do a launch here just because we can. I'm gonna put the vehicle into its sport mode here. It doesn't have a Sport Plus setting, but it does have a sport mode. I'm gonna turn off the traction control. Everything is completely off. Foot on the brake and accelerator. It barely does anything. It's holding at around 2,000 RPM. Nothing. Oh man, I don't have a 0 to 60 timer, but that felt like it could be around 6 to 7 seconds, I'm gonna say, give or take. I do stay in South Florida, so I'm not above any elevation or anything like that. So this turbocharged engine does really good here at sea level, or below sea level, because you're not staying in the swamp per se. But the Forte, it's a really good compact sedan here. Like I mentioned, Kia did update the technology. They update the exterior styling. So if you guys are looking for an affordable sedan and you don't want to break the bank in a sense, and also if you guys are looking for a baby Kia Stinger, this still performs really good. Of course, you don't get the same power as the Kia Stinger, but if you guys are looking for a really good performance, really good warranty, also with a fresher infotainment system, fresher design cues, I think the Forte is a really good option. Starting price here for the Kia Forte GT is at $23,490 with the options and accessories, including destination. The Kia Forte GT here stickers for $28,934. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at DriveOnReviews and hit that subscribe button, and I see you all in the next review.